Hello everyone, it's Tech Tuesday.
And you are watching Ask a Tech.
Coming to you live from our marketing showroom in Elkhart, Indiana.
My name is Alex, and we have a special spring prep panel planned for you today. I'm here with 3 of our LCI service technicians, and they are going to tell you everything that you need to know to prep your rig for this year's camping season. So let's go ahead and start with introductions.
Yeah.
Go ahead and tell me your name and what your position is here at LCI.
Sure. My name is Scott Sagerman. I am the technical supervisor for the contact center in South Bend, Indiana. I've been with Lippert Components for a little over 3 years now.
Okay, and Scott, what is your favorite core value?
I would have to say my favorite core value would be positive attitude. At the contact center in South Bend, we are very cultural based, and we try to stay upbeat, very positive, very driven. So it's kind of a little community culture that we have built, and it's something that, you know, on the daily when people are calling, they have concerns and questions. Sometimes those questions and concerns are not always the best. So we try to stay positive and upbeat and drive forward with it.
Yep, and you guys do a great job at that. Brittany and I have both been in your lab, and it's just a crazy atmosphere the whole time. So you are up next. Go ahead, tell us your name and how long have you been at LCI?
Hello everyone, my name is Daniel Marco. I'm going to close in a year here, so 11 months with Lippert. It's been a fantastic ride thus far.
Yep, and what do you do at the customer service lab?
I do windows, doors, and awnings.
Okay, so a lot of stuff. What is your favorite part about being on the LCI team so far?
You know, just new products coming out and being at the forefront where we're working with the customers that are getting these on their units and just learning about it and getting you guys the right information. It's just always keeping you upbeat.
Yep. Last but not least down there, go ahead and tell us who you are and what you do at Lippert.
My name is Dan Collins. I'm one of the leads in Axle and Chassis Tech Team.
Okay, Dan, and how long have you been at LCI?
I've been with LCI almost 4 years now.
Okay, so we have some professionals here. I bet you have a ton of people that call the customer service lab telling you that you have no idea what they're talking about or what they're feeling, their frustrations, or confusion. I hear that you actually have a fifth wheel. Is that true?
I do have a fifth wheel, and I can understand some of the frustration the owners or retail are going through when they're pulling their units.
Yes, which is kind of nice. It's nice to know that the person on the other end of the phone actually understands what you're talking about. We actually have a number of customer service representatives that have travel trailers. Scott, I hear you also have a unit.
I do, yep.
So you also know what they're talking about.
I'm a seasonal camper. I don't pull it as much as I used to, but yes, I can relate to some of the questions and concerns when people call in.
Good deal. It's reassuring. So we are going to go ahead and get started. If you are following live with us, feel free to leave your questions and comments below. We have someone on the back end that's going to be answering all of those for you. So we are just going to jump right in. Scott, you are up first. Tell me a little bit about battery voltage.
Yeah, battery voltage is crucial, especially at the time of spring when we're getting our camper out for the season. We want to make sure that our batteries have been well charged prior to setting up camp. This is going to alleviate a lot of phone calls and a lot of concerns when it comes time to operate, especially leveling systems and or slide systems. You may foresee error codes and things of that nature if battery voltages aren't where they need to be.
Okay.
Also a good time to keep in mind of age of batteries. As seasons go on, a lot of times we use batteries from year to year to year, and the older they get, the weaker they become, and it can lead to a headache in the middle of the season.
Okay, so your battery can actually like expire.
Yeah, you got to think of it a lot of like a car battery, right? After so many years, you go out, you go to start your car, and it doesn't start anymore. It's time to replace a battery. So same thing with your deep cycle RV batteries.
Okay, good deal. Tell me just a few of your basic preparations as far as checking fluid levels when you pull your rig out.
Again, just like checking battery voltages, we also want to maintain, for our hydraulic folks out there, we want to make sure that we maintain hydraulic fluid levels. Make sure that they're on the up and up, and make sure that the tank is full when things are retracted.
Okay.
It's another good time to also check for any physical signs of fluid leak. If you are noticing puddles on jacks or any type of leaking along the underbelly of your coach, might be a good idea to maybe get it in somewhere and check it out, or examine that particular fitting or jack to make sure that we're up to snuff.
Okay. What type of fluids could be in there?
Yep. The RV industry utilizes a couple different types. you're generally going to see an ATF fluid, which is an
Okay.
automatic transmission fluid. Dextron 3, Markron 5. It's going to be pink or red in color. In the
you're
event
gonna
that's-
notice it.
Yeah, you would notice it. In the event that it's a clear or a golden brown color, then more than likely it's going to be like an AW32, just standard hydraulic fluid.
Okay. So a few different options.
Absolutely.
Danny, let's talk about awnings. Everyone loves to talk about awnings. If I have an 18-volt battery Solera power awning, what would I need in order to be ready to hit the road?
So, for those of you out there that are getting ready for the camping season and you've got your RV in the shop or at your house, 18-volt battery, really simple. I mean, it's got a block charger, it's got a light on it, and you always want to make sure that you've charged it when it's red, still needs to charge. It'll turn green when it's ready. Anywhere between 3 to 4 hours is what you want to look for, so in about charging time.
Okay, and where would that green light be?
Right on the block itself, it's pretty straightforward.
Cool, easy to remember.
Yep.
Dan, you are up next. Let's see, go ahead and tell us about tire pressure. When you're pulling your rig out for the season, why is it so important to check your tire pressure?
Well, you want to make sure you have adequate tire pressure. For number one, you don't want to create tire wear. You don't want bald tires. Getting these type of conditions, you could have blowouts, which could lead to problems.
Yeah, which you don't want.
Correct.
So just like you're checking your tire pressure on your car, this is a home on wheels. You probably should be checking it just as regularly. Is there anywhere on the actual unit that would indicate what your tire pressure should be?
Well, there is. Generally, most OEMs will put them right between the tires on the fender well, or you can find them in your owner's manual.
Okay, so easy enough. Go ahead, check your owner's manual. I know we talk about that in almost every video that we do. Scott, go ahead and tell us, let's talk about slides a little bit. Okay. So do we recommend storing while your slide is extended?
To be honest with you, it's going to be more at the customer's preference, whether that slide is fully extended or fully retracted.
Okay, so it doesn't harm it.
Yeah, I can tell you on a personal aspect, I prefer to be retracted just for peace of mind,
Okay.
especially being a seasonal camper. When I'm away from camp, I know that the slides are retracted. But again, we want to make sure they're either fully extended or fully retracted, and what that does is make sure that seals are tight. In the
Okay.
event that a slide is halfway out, we have the potential of a slide sweep maybe being twisted and it allowing rainwater or any type of debris or just funk over time, allowing it to come into your coach.
Okay. If you do get any type of buildup, what's the easiest way to clean your slide?
Sure. So what we recommend is we want you to wash your slide system down, your slide sweeps, in-wall fans, your gear tracks. We want you to use a mild detergent. Nothing too harsh. We don't want to wear on the finishes of the coach, but just wash it down with a mild detergent and let it air dry.
Good deal. And I know we've talked about that before. It would just be like Dial soap, Dawn.
Yeah, like
Nothing
a Dawn dish
crazy.
soap. Yeah, nothing too crazy.
Okay, good deal. Danny, back to awnings. How do I test the gas shocks on the hardware?
So the gas shocks, essentially, what they do is they tighten the fabric so it doesn't sag. So a simple push at the top, kind of see where the resistance is at. If it kind of goes back in place, you don't see anything that's offsetting, and you should be fine. So it's pretty straightforward as well.
Okay, pretty easy.
Yeah.
What backup tools should I take with me in case my power awning motor isn't functioning?
So yeah, let's say for whatever reason you don't have power to it, can't figure it out, emergencies happen, you got to get back on the road. I'm going to refer to the manual again, but LCI app as well. If you have it on your phone, you would just look for the manual override function, and pretty simple setup. A ladder, you need a drill socket, a socket drill, and it'll pretty much do all the handiwork for you. On our manual, you'll see step-by-step instructions.
Okay, so as far as getting that out, is there any type of like a manual override that you can refer to?
Right, so it'll be the one that where on our manual, it'll be the one that will show you how to remove the grommet, and counterclockwise brings it in, clockwise out, and it's pretty much a straightforward process as well as you're acting like the motor with that drill.
Okay, perfect. Dan, tell us how do you go about verifying all of your electrical connections when you get your rig ready?
Well, I would check the 4-way and 7-way, make sure you do have good connection. Good connection is going to be very important for your lights, brakes. Brakes are a big key thing that verify you're getting the 2.5 to 3.5 amps. at each magnet. And again, our manuals online or my LCI app will walk you through that and how to check them.
Okay, perfect. And then this is something that I think we've talked about before, but your 12-month maintenance, why is that so important for everyone?
Well, the 12-month maintenance, it will check your bearings, which is going to be very important. While they have that hub off, repacking the bearings, they're also going to be able to check your equalizers, springs, hardware kit. And again, in our manuals, it will go through and explain and show you all the different components.
Okay, good deal. Scott, what do you do if you pull out your rig for the season and your slide is extremely noisy?
Yep. So as far as is noisy and is things operate, if you notice squeals and squeaks of that nature, we do recommend lubing up with a CRC power lube. We want to use a dry Teflon, nothing that's going to adhere dirt, because dirt collects in gear tracks and it can premature wear on these gears, as well as make your camper look kind of nasty over time too. So
Which you don't want.
yeah, right.
Okay, good deal. Back to awnings. With regards to the pitch arm, how would I ensure that they are ready to go, Dean?
So the pitch arm, for those of you that have probably used them already, they'll say pull down to pitch, and it's as simple as that. You would pull it down to the level you want. I always recommend you test this out, because that is one of the calls we get quite often is, hey, it's not pitching, I didn't check it, and that's usually what I hear. So I always recommend that you kind of see that you're able to pitch it at different levels to ensure that the Allen bolt is doing what it's supposed to. And if not, you can always do 1/4 inch turns at a time. We never recommend to over tighten it. It can cause a little bit of it can do a little damage there if coming back in and too extra tighten. You never want that, but otherwise that's pretty much how you test for it.
Perfect. And for people that are not very familiar with your rigs, where is the pitch arm at? How do you know which one the pitch arm is?
So think wall of the coach, you've got a bolted arm to it, and then you've got the other arm that comes out. The pitch arm is at the bottom, and it pretty much looks like an elbow. So it's the small elbow at the bottom.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Easy enough.
Easy enough.
Dan, we were talking about this before, just some overall safety concerns. Can you just tell everyone, when you're getting your rig ready for the season, what are things that you should be looking at?
Well, overall safety, you got to remember there's other people out there besides yourself that's going to be traveling, even possibly pulling their trailer as well. But making sure that your couplers are latched properly, your safety chains are on, good connections so your brakes are getting adequate voltage or amperage, and tire pressure is another safety issue.
Okay. Let's see. So yeah, most importantly, just think safety. We're
Correct.
not the only ones on the road. Everyone else is going to be camping too, so just kind of be aware. Scott, let's talk about, well, you mentioned a little bit with like seal cracks and spring wash of your camper. Is this also when you should be looking at your roof?
Absolutely. Good visual inspection of the whole unit in itself. It's a good time to, if you can, get on the roof of your coach, double check seals, especially around stink pipes, air conditioners, front caps. Just want to make sure that we don't have any, cracks developing over time, because these things are out in the sun all the time. And down the road, it could lead to water infiltration, which
Okay.
then becomes a big mess.
Which you don't want.
Right.
Be proactive, everyone. So if you do have an issue with your roof, Camping Connection, would that be a good place to get that fixed?
Oh, absolutely. Any of our viewers that are out there in the southeast of the United States, Camping Connection is always a good alternative.
Good deal.
Absolutely.
And they actually have an app now, so you could also check your Camping Connection app and see if you are in a close location to get that taken care of. Let's do our last one about awnings. When you are out camping, what is the actual recommended use for the awning?
So this is actually a good question, one we get a lot.
Which seems silly.
Right, but just to be understood, our awning acts like a shade. So although there are water auto dump features, we always recommend that any kind of inclement weather, if you're not sure, we always say be better safe than sorry. Retract your awning. Any kind of wind that is questionable, moves it back and forth, that can always jeopardize the hardware if it's too strong. So we always recommend, if it's questionable weather, retract the awning, as it's a sunshade essentially.
That's good advice.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's not meant to just protect you from every crazy storm that's out there.
Yep.
So what you're saying is we shouldn't let it ride.
You shouldn't. Oh gosh. Okay. Well, that is all that we have for today. If you didn't get your question answered, go ahead and leave it in the question and comment section below, and we will definitely have our tech still take care of those for you. Scott, if they need to get a hold of customer service,
Yeah.
we have a ton of ways to do that. How
We
do
do.
they go about doing it?
So you can contact us via phone. The phone number is 574-537-8900. You can also shoot us an email at customerservice@lci1.com. And if you visit our site at lci1.com, you'll find our chat feature as well.
Yep.
And you'll also find it on my LCI app.
That is
Yes,
correct.
from my
Yes.
LCI app.
Yep.
See, he was testing you.
Yes, he was.
Perfect. Well, we will see you at next month's Ask a Tech, and enjoy the rest of your Tech Tuesday.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.